Hello, William. What brings you here today?
Nice to see you, Ale. I am here to buy a man for some labouring work. I need one more slave for the contract I have for the work on the cathedral.
How is the work going on the cathedral?
It is going very well. It should be complete by the year 1789. Hopefully the work will be as good as the work I did on St. Nicholas's Church up by the shipping dock.
Good to hear, my boy. Did you say you want to purchase some slave labour?
Yes, I am looking 1 or 2 males.
Well, there is an African slave auction happening now near the Canada dock. Some look healthy and strong and only have arrived from West Africa this morning. You'll definitely find what you're looking for there.
Thank you, Will. I am going to make my way towards there now.
Strong, healthy, fresh off the boat this morning, African slaves. Only 13 guineas. Take yours today.
Excuse me, merchant. How much are the West African slaves going for?
Are you interested, sir? They start at 13 guineas. Come on, get up. On your feet.
Please, sir. I want my purchase to be healthy, not injured.
You have to show them who's in charge. What was you looking for? A male for labour? Or a female for housework? Or other services?
No. All I want is 1 male for labouring.
Here's the perfect one. Brought in from West Africa on the Rose ship. Arrived this morning. Come on, get up on your feet for inspection.
Stop the brutality or I will take my business elsewhere.
This one's big, strong and healthy. He's yours for 13 guineas.
Come on, he looks drained from the voyage. I'll give you 10.
He's a healthy specimen, 12 guineas.
I will give you 11 guineas, my final offer.
11 guineas, take him as yours. Come on, get up. You now have a new master. Do what he says.
Merchant Foster, 11 guineas like we agreed.
Yes, 11 guineas.
Come with me, I will take you to your new accommodation where you will be staying. I guess you do not speak English. Do you understand? Can you understand what I am saying? There was no reply, so I asked him the same question in Folu, an African language that I have learned from working with African slaves over the past 30 years. He looked shocked that I spoke his language, and he told me his name was Semugari. I asked him, does he understand what will be happening and who I was? He told me he understood that I was his master and he would obey. If he did not obey, he would be beaten. I was puzzled by this. He told me the master of the Rose Voyager punished everybody on the ship. If we did not comply or obey, we would be tortured or killed. Semugari explained he was captured while cutting crops in a field of West Africa. All he could remember was having a net thrown over him and then something hitting him, and then waking up in a dark, dismal room, cramped with many of his people in chains, some sick and very scared. One man on the ship told him they were on a journey to hell to be tortured and sold by the slave merchant master. He explained how the pale-faced masters of the ship lined many of the slaves up on the ship deck and whipped, kicked and beat with poles. Many of them on the ship suffered brutal torturing sessions. Even the women were subject to beatings and raped by the pale-faced masters of the ship. It was so upsetting hearing this story, and I assured him there will be no type of torture while you are my property. I am your master, and I have brought you to help me with my building and construction work. The slave replied, every pale-faced man I have met have beat, raped and murdered my people. I had to explain to him that we are all not the same, and assured if he treated me with respect, I would do the same. He told me the past few days he has gone through hell, and the traumatic experience has made it hard for him to trust anyone. If any of the slaves captured were unfit to make the journey, they were thrown overboard into the sea, so the slave merchants could claim them back off the insurance. I was in complete shock and never thought of the torture and the life-changing experience that each African man goes through before becoming one of many slaves that I have bought and used for labour work over the past 30 years. Semugari had no freedom or individuality. The slave trade and people like myself have participated in destroying his life, which has made him and many others a product and lost all his rights as a human being. I realised I could not participate in this vile life of slavery. I knew I could not give Semagari his freedom back, and releasing him here on the docks of Liverpool would not make his life any better. I decided I would educate this man and bring him into the trade which I participate in. I come to the decision to never be part of the transatlantic or any other slave trade which contains torturing, murdering and stealing another human's right of being free no matter what the colour of his skin is.
William Newton kept his word and educated the slave who had changed his life, and never participated in anything to do with the transatlantic slave trade until the Slave Trade Act, which abolished slavery in 1807.
Building Freedom, written and produced by Stephen Tran, starring Nicholas Deas as Earl Wilson, Paul Holden as James Foster, Katie Deas as the narrator, and Stephen Tran as William Newton.